Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to show off my entertainment center as of April 2025. So this is my living room setup that I have here. So I have a splitter set up. This allows me to use multiple devices only using one HDMI port on my television, and it allows me to easily and seamlessly transfer between devices on the fly. And basically, one HDMI port goes into the input of this so that I get my output on my television. And then the output goes into a capture card. I have an Elgato HD60X capture card. From there, it gets transferred over to my laptop. That's what is powered. That's what powers the capture device. And from there, I run OBS software to capture and stream from any of my devices. So let me give you an example here. So let's say I wanted, right now I'm on my PlayStation 5, right? Let's say, for example, I want to swap over to my Xbox Series S. So I'm just going to shut that off, put that into rest mode, and I'm going to jump over to the Series S. So that will shut off, and now it should automatically swap over to the Series S console. There you go. Don't even have to swap HDMI ports. It just automatically jumps onto Series S. Over off to the right side of my entertainment center is my PlayStation 3, which needs to be cleaned. But yeah, so this is my one of my PlayStation 3s. This is the one that I keep in my living room. To the bottom right is my Xbox Series S. I've had this device since March of 2021, and I really like this console as a backwards compatibility machine. It's not really great for anything else, but it's been a good console overall. And of course, we got my PlayStation 5. This is my newest console. I got this in December of last year. I got it on sale, so it was finally worthy of a pickup for me. And right below that, in my entertainment center, is my original modded Xbox. So let me go ahead and show this off real quick. It's got a custom dashboard on it. Takes a minute to boot in, but there you go. Here's my controller for my original Xbox. This is a GameStop exclusive. It's probably the most modern looking original Xbox controller I could find. I like how it's got the white and black buttons on the side, on the upper corners there. That's nice. But anyway, yeah, this is what the custom dashboard looks like. Go into my games. And if you back out, we can get the full games list. There's also emulators on here as well, from Atari 2600 all the way up to Nintendo 64. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the original Xbox is probably the most underrated console of all time. But here's the full game list. They're all loaded onto a 2 terabyte hard drive. I think there's a total of like 800 games on here. It's got the full original Xbox library, at least for North America, which that's probably about all there is for it, because I know it wasn't really successful anywhere else. It's really only successful in the United States. Yeah, there's way too many to like list off here. It would require its own dedicated video, but you can just jump into anything you want. I mean, there's something for everybody to play on this console for sure. I remember playing this back on the PlayStation 2, by the way. Very Odd Parents, Break Into Rules. THQ, RIP. Yeah, there's so many games on this thing. It's not even counting the stuff that's on emulators. So that's my original Xbox. Those are the 4 consoles that I have connected to the HDMI splitter for the purposes of capturing and recording, which of course I don't have to capture or record, but at the press of a button right from my computer, right from my laptop, I can just jump into OBS and hit start recording or start live streaming, and I'm just streaming my content to you guys. So optionally, of course. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what my PC setup looks like. So right from the TV, I've also got my laptop connected to it so that I can use my 55-inch TV as a monitor. So yeah, this is a MSI laptop that I got back in 2023. It's got a RTX 3050 graphics card, an 11th gen Intel i5. It's a pretty good system, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD. I got this on sale at Walmart for under $500, and it's been a pretty stellar laptop. I've really been happy with it. It's got a nice backlit keyboard, aluminum chassis, brushed aluminum. It's pretty nice. I really like it. It definitely serves the purposes of live streaming and recording in high quality footage very well. So anyway, let me jump into OBS Studio here, and you can go ahead and see what my setup looks like. So this is all of the statistics that I see on my end when I'm actually recording and or live streaming my footage to you guys. I've got my audio controls and mixers to the bottom right corner here. I've got all of my statistics on, how much data I have available to me, what my bitrate output is, if I'm dropping any frames, how long it takes to render each frame, what resolution and frame rate and all that stuff I'm running at, which I always keep it at the same regardless. But I've got my chat over to the left that's integrated directly onto the OBS here. And I've got a small little window that allows me to see what you guys are seeing on your end. And again, like I said, if I need a bigger window to work with here, I've got I can pull it up on my TV as well. But let me jump back to PS5. That's what it says. That is what I use for the HDMI splitter. It just says that it's a PS5 that's connected to it. It doesn't really know what it is. But the last thing I connected to HDMI 1 was my PlayStation 5, so the TV it still thinks it's just PS5, but of course I've got all 4 of my consoles down here connected to it. And it's pretty sweet being able to swap between, 4 different consoles on the fly like that. So I've got it back on HDMI 1 right now, and if I were to turn on my PlayStation 5, take it out of rest mode, you'll see that the splitter automatically swaps over to HDMI 1 because it detected an output. And it's going to swap back over to the PlayStation 5, and I'm just going to get a signal. HDR kicks in, the instant game response is launched, and there we go, playing on PlayStation 5. And back on my laptop's monitor here on OBS, you can see it pulled it right up. So at any time, if I wanted to record or stream, I just go down to my controls and hit start recording or start streaming. Because right now the active source is the Elgato HD60X, and like I said, from the splitter, I've got the output set to the Elgato HD60X. And this is the soundbar that I have set up in my living room. This is the LG SN6Y DTS-X virtual surround sound, high-res audio support. It's a 3.1 channel, 5.1 rear surround ready, AI Sound Pro support, TV Sound Sync support. Right beneath that, I've got my LG wireless subwoofer with a Dragon sticker, of course. That's what gives it its bass. So I figured I'd go ahead and show off some of my games that I have here. So these are some of my recent pickups here. Crysis Remastered Trilogy, Hogwarts Legacy, Croc Legend of the Gobos, as you guys already know about that. But also picked up Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS5. So those are some of my new games that I just got. Haven't even played them yet, but And connected to my 4 terabyte external hard drive, I have 149 PlayStation 4 games on here. Yep, so I just recently got the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection. I played through the first game, for those that don't know. Got a whole lot of games on here, ranging from really, really obscure indie games to real awesome classics and everything in between. So that's my PlayStation 4 collection there. So on my Series S, I have more games on here because I have a bigger hard drive on here. I've got a 5 terabyte hard drive connected to my Series S. So let's go ahead and look through the catalog here. So it says I've got 261 games installed on here. Yeah, the file manager is considered a game for some reason, but this allows me to access my license keys so that I can actually copy the keys over to a flash drive so that I actually have proper ownership of my games. But yeah, here's some of the games I got on my Series S. I also got the Crysis Remastered Trilogy on here as well. Yeah, so despite not having a storage expansion card on here, I'm actually, believe it or not, I still only have the stock 512 gig SSD on my Series S. But because I have a 5 terabyte external hard drive, this is just a backwards compatibility machine, and it's really, really damn good at it. So I've got a few games here on the Series S SSD, like Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition. I put that on there. Haven't played that in a while. I need to get back into doing my playthrough of that. But yeah, I've got a few of them, but mostly just really small indie titles. But yep, there you go. Yep, RoboCop's another one I got to get back into. Haven't played that since last month. Yep, so that's my Series S collection. Moving on to some of my physical collections here. So this is my PlayStation 4 physical collection. This is a recent pickup. The Lion King trilogy. Blu-ray. But anyway, yep, here's my PS4 physical games collection there. Shelf full. And one physical PlayStation 5 game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Game I haven't even played on PS5 yet, but there you go. That's the one and only PS5 physical game I have so far. But, you know, can you really blame me when I still have so many PlayStation 4 games to play? You guys know that the primary reason that I got a PlayStation 5 was to play my PS4 games. And as you can tell, there's a layer of dust on a lot of them because I mostly just play games digitally now, if I'm being honest. But I do like having physical games in my library, though, of course. But down below that, on the other shelf of my bookshelf here, I have a bunch of PlayStation 3 games. So a shelf full of those. And down below that, I have another shelf full of PlayStation 3 games. And next to that is my retired PlayStation 2 and GameCube that I still have if I ever want to go back to them. Alright, moving on to the bedroom setup here. I've got a bookshelf full of games in my bedroom as well. So I've got some original Xbox games up here. I've got couple GameCube games, as well as a metric shitload of Xbox 360 games, Blu-ray movies, DVDs. This case right up here has a bunch of music CDs in it. And I've got a portable gaming device up here. It's an AtGames. I think it's got a bunch of Sega games on it. And yeah, as you can see, I haven't used it in quite some time. I can literally play games right on my bed. So I don't even need any portable device. But yep, and I got some more Xbox 360 games down here. I got a AV to HDMI adapter if I ever need that. A ton of awesome Xbox 360 games, a couple more DVDs down there, and I've got a backup Xbox One controller. If something ever happens to one of my Xbox controllers, I have a backup. So yep, that's my physical games collection. Okay, so this is my Xbox, the other Xbox 360. I forgot to show it off. This is the E model. It's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it. I got this a couple years back for $80. Not kidding. It's lightly used. And yeah, so this is anytime I need to record some Xbox 360 footage, this is definitely the one that I go for. Some of you might have noticed this earlier in the video. I forgot to mention this. This is another cheap HDMI splitter that I have. This one will also bypass HDCP. This one does not bypass HDCP. But however, if I ever need to bypass HDCP copy protection, I can always just swap over one of the HDMIs to this, and there you go. I can bypass HDCP copy protection. And the main reason you would want that kind of device is for PlayStation 3. Because HDCP is kind of a pain in the ass to get around on PlayStation 3. However, I just recently got an Electron Pulse. So this is a device you can plug into your component video input on your PlayStation 3, and then it converts it to HDMI, and this will just completely bypass HDCP copy protection as well. So here's the PS3 running. It's in HDMI 4, I just turned my PS3 on. There you go. Got my controller ready to go. So I wanted to show off how the Electron Pulse looks. It's zero issues with it whatsoever. And yeah, you can easily record and live stream PlayStation 3 natively. Very nice. And yeah, everything just works. No input lag or anything like that. What do we want here? Display settings. Sorry, hard to do this with one hand. But there you go. For some reason, 1080p does not really seem to want to work, at least for the setup that I have. But, you know, that's fine. 1080i still works. 720p still works. So you can still get a high definition output from this. So, zero issues there. So, literally, if I wanted to, I could go on here and record from Prime Video. I can record from YouTube. I can record from whatever the hell I want. All this stuff still works on PlayStation 3, by the way. But yeah, right now I got Final Fantasy 13 in there. I'm bored to tears playing this game. I'm trying to get back into it, and it's just every time I try to get into Final Fantasy 13, it's so boring. I don't know why it exists. The story sucks. The characters are obnoxious. And the gameplay is incredibly boring. It's like a hallway walking simulator where the few fights that are preordained to you, you just mash the X button and then, yay, I win. I got a bunch of stars and numbers flying around the screen. It's fucking stupid. Just a side rant there. Final Fantasy 13 sucks. I don't know why anybody likes this. Gorgeous game. The soundtrack's great. And, the graphics are really good for PS3, but that's about the only praise that I can give this game. Everything else about the game sucks, okay? But just a little side rant there. Also, I know that they recently delisted Nights into Dreams on Xbox. You can still buy it on PlayStation 3, so I recommend maybe picking that up if you have a PS3 laying around. Good little arcade game, classic game from Sega. It's definitely worth picking up. It's $10 on the PlayStation Store on PlayStation 3, still available. Go get it if you haven't already. Alright, so moving on to the PlayStation 4 in my bedroom. So I've got 56 games installed onto my 1 terabyte hard drive here. Mostly indie games, but also some heavy hitters. So these are games that I figured would be good to chill to while I'm just laying in bed. For nights I feel like, want to jump into a game I haven't played yet. I've got pretty much most of the games here I have not played yet. I just recently got Jurassic World Evolution 2 and all of its DLC. As well as, what's the other game I just recently got? I got 4 new games. Oh, here's another one. Police Simulator, Patrol Officers, and all the DLC for that. And there's a couple other new ones that I just got. Summoner's another new one I just got. This is a PS2 classic. Yeah. So those are the games I have on my PlayStation 4 in my bedroom. Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, Psychonauts, Persona 4 and 5, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, Max Payne, Mafia 2 Defective Edition, Mafia 3 Defective Edition. They're not definitive, they're defective, but that's okay. Legend of Mana, haven't even played that yet. Kill It With Fire, this game looks like a fun little indie game. Same with Hot Shot Racing. I got GTA 5 on here, because why not? Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Yeah, here's the other game I just recently got, Devil May Cry HD Collection. I also got Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and all of its DLC. Castle Crashers Remastered. This is a really good, fun arcade title on the Xbox 360. It was cool to see that it got ported to the PS4. But yep, so those are the games that I have on this system. This is the laptop I have in my bedroom. This was for a while there the only PC that I actually had. You know, the screen's kind of dusty, so never mind that. But yeah, this is a Dell Latitude E7450. So pretty old. This is like a 10-year-old laptop, but you know what? It's still running good. Haven't had any issues with it. It does have an i7 in it, but it is a dual-core processor, so it's definitely showing its age, but it still runs good. I use it as an external. I just have it connected to my. I've got a 42-inch TV set up in my bedroom, and I've got a little dongle here for a wireless keyboard, so I can actually browse the internet on a 42-inch monitor right with this, and it still works fine for general web browsing, watching videos at 1080p. It still does all that just fine. So yeah, I've got a soundbar over here right underneath the television that I have, and this is a little clock I have here, a smart clock or whatever. This is somebody actually gave this to me a while ago, and I just throw it up in here. It's sensitive to the light, so it'll automatically dim whenever it, you know, if there's no light source. Like if I block the light, you'll notice it'll dim, and then it'll brighten back up as the light shines on it. I've also got another PlayStation 3, which I tried to remove some of the scratches on this PS3, but yeah, a little bit beat up, but it still works just fine. So I've got 2 PS3s. Here's my PS4 down here. I still have that. And I've got another Xbox 360. I also have a backup Xbox 360 in my living room. Over here, this is like a real cheap, what do you call it, splitter. Nowhere near as good as the one in my living room. But what this allows me to do is it actually will bypass the HDCP copy protection. And so you just plug in one HDMI cord. I believe, what do I have connected to this? I have my PS4 and a Fire Stick. This is a Amazon Fire Stick 4K Max connected to it, and it bypasses the HDCP shit. So I can easily run PS4. I can put YouTube up on it, no problem. If I ever wanted to record something with it, I can still do that because it thinks that it's copy protected when it's not. So I have ways to bypass that kind of shit. If I ever need to record something, I can. So here's my DualShock 4 with the custom triggers on it that I put. I always leave my controllers plugged in all the time. I just don't like running shit off batteries and Bluetooth. I got an external hard drive connected to the PS4. It's just a 1 terabyte, but nothing fancy there. This is a component switcher, so I have the PS3 and Xbox 360 connected to this. So yeah, that's my bedroom setup. So here you go. Here's my PC running on the 42-inch LED TV that I have here. I've got a beautiful picture of Bryce there as my wallpaper. This computer is actually running Linux Mint. 21.3. So I've got my Discord server running on there on a different account. I've got connected to wireless right now. It shows all the... Looks pretty similar to how Windows 11 is, but there you go. You can see the Linux Mint logo there. So this is running Linux Mint. And haven't had any issues with this laptop running on here. Like I said, I've got access to a web browser, and I just connect a wireless keyboard. I got this keyboard for $5. Not kidding. Brand new. Not going to ask any questions there. Just going to roll with it. So yeah, it's been a pretty good little setup here. I just love how I tried to make the PS3 look a little bit better, get rid of the scratches. I think it just ended up making it look worse. But actually, I'm starting to kind of like the design a little bit. I actually just used like a permanent marker. I just wanted to see if I could like make it look a little bit better, but I don't know. You be the judge in if it looks better or not. I don't really care too much, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to grab my original 6-axis controller because according to Sony, that's the future. Yeah, so it is running through Component, but it is 1080p, so... Gotta love that startup, man. Never get tired of it. Warning! If you suffer from epilepsy or seizures, you are fucked. Why are you playing video games? Oh, look at that. The theme on here, this wasn't even intended, but the theme on my PS3, I just realized, is actually kind of representative of how the system looks. It's like, looks like it's got a bunch of scratches all over it. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I've got my PlayStation Network profile on here. Here's all of my games on here. I've got all the same games that I have digitally on the other system, as well as a few others, though. Yeah, here's all my digital PlayStation 3 games I have on here. A lot of these I did not install. These just came on the system when I got it. This is the PS3 that I bought for my friend. It's got quite a lot of games on here, though, I will say. Final Fantasy Tactics is on here. I think some of these you can't even buy anymore, right? Symphony of the Night's on here. Chrono Trigger, Parasite Eve, FF7, Chrono Cross. He's got Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross on here. Parasite Eve 2, Xenogears, Legend of Dragoon, FF8, Spyro the Derg, MGS. Yeah, these. Yeah, as of as of February 2025, these are all the games I put on here. Of course, I just simply added to it any game that was from 2025, but all the 2015 ones, that's what was already on the system. So, yeah, there you go. Pretty solid little collection, I must say. So even if you don't want to put anything, you know, physically in there, you definitely got a lot of options there in terms of digital games on here as well. Alright, and last, let's check out the Xbox 360. So, swap in the input there, go over here, turn it on, grab my controller. Alright. Xbox 360 before we fucked everything up. Come on. So this is why I think the PS3 is a little bit better. It's better interface for sure. I like how PlayStation 3's interface has remained the same over the years, and the 360 is just like, we don't even know what we're doing anymore. They just consistently have made it worse and worse and worse. Alright, so let's see what I have on here. 71 games on here. Some are downloaded, some are physical, some are digital. Again, kind of like the way they do it on PS3 more, because it's easy to know which are downloaded and which are physically downloaded, but you still need the disc. So any title, the only way to tell is from that little symbol down there. If it's got the little play button, that means it's a digital download. so you don't need the disc. So Cars 3 is one of the digital games on there. Castle Miner Z, that's digital only. You can't even buy that anymore, by the way. You got Crackdown, Crackdown 2, Aragon, physical. I think I filled the hard drive on this thing too. This has only got a 250 gig hard drive on it. Legend of Spyro's on here. Haven't played that yet. Curious to check that one out. I bought it right before the storefront shut down on here. Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. I also just got the whole Metro collection on Steam for like $12 because Steam is awesome. But yeah, those are all my... A lot of these games are like just weird like arcade titles that you can't even get anymore. But I still have them on here from years and years ago. So that's all of my games that I have on this Xbox 360. And with that out of the way, I think that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.